Hi guys, welcome to another round of questions. We're keeping it parked, but it's still quite nice to be sat in the car again, and it actually comes with a nice little holder for my notes. So, yeah, it doesn't make a bad home office in a pinch. To open today, would you do another 2CV 24-hour race, even if it meant fewer races in the season? You know, would you choose one longer race over several shorter ones? Yes, absolutely, I would. In fact, I've tried to press gang a group of friends into doing it again since that one in 2018. I've really enjoyed it. It's not so much about the race, and I don't think it necessarily compares to doing shorter events, even to doing the club enduro races we normally do, which are 2 and 3 hours. A 24 is a totally different endeavour, and all of the preparation and planning that goes into it as a team, as a unit, in the car, in strategy, and all the kit you need in planning the whole thing, catering for that many people, where you're all going to stay, all of that stuff. It makes it feel like a serious expedition, really, with the motor race almost as a relatively short output. But what you're trying to do, and what every other team there is trying to do, is to beat the race. Other competitors, you want the car to be quick, but ultimately, whoever's out on the circuit and putting laps in for the longest is going to finish really highly. So the mood of the thing is totally different. And I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fantastic. The sense of responsibility is huge when you're out there in the car, and battling wheel to wheel with people, knowing that there's three other people and a whole team in the pits whose next 18 hours or so hangs on you not falling off the circuit. That's another aspect to it. But no, I think it's absolutely fantastic. And yes, I would do another. Certainly another 24, and I'd like to do another 2CV one actually, because the camaraderie of that pit lane is fantastic, and I really enjoyed it. Yes, emphatically. A few questions about circuits. What's your favourite circuit that you've driven? For racing in the UK, Cadwell Park, just brilliant, an absolute roller coaster. Favourite that I've ever driven, I think possibly Big Cadwell actually. I think the Nürburgring Nordschleife. I went for the first time last year, and it absolutely lived up to the hype. I wasn't sure whether it was one of those things that just is all deified, but it doesn't quite deliver. No, it does. It's fantastic. A brilliant place to spend time, beautiful scenery, a lot of car culture happening all around you, proper performance car culture, not show stuff. These are serious cars. And as an experience, I mean, I was there with a group of friends for 3 days, and I think I only drove 5 laps and passengered on more, and it was ample as an experience. Just loved it. A circuit you'd like to drive, Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. Everything I've heard about it, again, from people who've been, says yes, it absolutely lives up to it. It is a wonderful experience, so I'd really like to get there. We were meant to race there last year, but the car was damaged in an accident and we didn't get there. So I have that sense of missing out to add to the general desire to go there and drive it. So definitely that. More on circuits. If you could take any corner from an international circuit and bring it to the UK, what would you choose, and where would you put it? I think I'd go back to the ring. I think I'd take the run down after Schwedenkreuz. There's a tight right, isn't there? And then down the hill to Fuchsrohe, and then that climb up over a blind crest with a quite steep curve on the inside, and then trying to stop the car into this chicane called Adenauer Forst, which you see on a lot of YouTube crash compilations for predictable reasons. That's awesome. Such a great commitment section, and then you end up in a really, really grippy, slow pair of corners, so you can really feel the performance of the car. I really like that bit, and I'd put it at Bedford Autodrome because Lord knows it needs all the help it can get. What assumptions or expectations have you had thoroughly rearranged for you between starting out and right now? Going into racing, what I thought it'd be like. I've worked with race teams before on a pretty casual basis with teams running gentleman drivers and so on, and thought I had a reasonable idea of what it's like running a race meeting from that. What I did not expect is how massively tiring it is, running a car and yourself as driver, for a whole meeting. Like, most of our meetings are only on one day. So you have all your travel and setup and everything perhaps the night before, and then the full meeting in the course of the day, and then you're going home. So all of the car prep and making sure all the kit's in the right place, making sure that you yourself are ready, getting out in the car and qualifying, putting in this peak mental performance for a short burst, then trying to come down from that, trying to make sure everything's okay on the car, trying to process everything in your mind, figure out where you're starting on the grid, find out what competitors have done, maybe try and eat something, then re-prepping the car and getting yourself in the right frame of mind ready to go and race it. And after that, again, you've got all the come down, but once you've had that and finished for the day, got to load the car back up, got to get all the kit sorted, got to put it back on its road tyres to drive it home again. The drive home could be 2.5 hours, and by the end of the race you think, oh god, it'd be fantastic, I'd love a party, I'd love a barbecue, I'd love a few beers. And then what happens is I get home and I'm in desperate need for a shower, and then I just want to go to sleep. I just really thought I had an idea of how much it takes out of you, and when you've got all of the mental responsibility and your friends and family there, and people that you want to be engaged with and making the most of the time with, on top of everything else of actually driving the car. Yeah, no, different world of tiring, amazingly so. Are there any defining moments which made racing for you or inspired you, and what makes it so rewarding? Obviously, the idea of being out there, the performance metric is, are you winning races? But actually, for me, I almost find it more satisfying putting in a good performance in qualifying. At the start of the 2019 season, first round in the Club Enduro Championship, biggest championship in the country in terms of registered cars and drivers. It's enormous. There's so much money being spent at the sharp end of the grid, it has to be said. And some of the cars and drivers there, like the calibre of competition is fantastic. And at the first round at Donington Park over the winter, sort of trying to not have many excuses in performance terms. There's a new set of tyres on the car, first time ever. I got into a race meeting with new tyres rather than part warns. A lot of setup work done over the winter. It got lighter, it got faster. This now should be a competitive thing. Are we up to the task? And we qualified class pole, and in fact did 2 laps fast enough for pole position, both of which were under the lap record, and it just felt awesome coming back in. I knew driving around, I had the lap time, I thought, okay, that's a good time, but I don't know, of course, what everyone else has done. And when we got back in, and my wife and mum on the pit wall have the timing there to say, that's it, you're pole. Wow, this car that started out as a road going thing, still is even, as a standard road car, with just my sort of learning and development and trying to figure out what to do and take advice from all the right people, has suddenly reached that level of performance. It was fantastic, and yeah, deeply rewarding to get that just on the stopwatch, plain and simple. There's a lot of luck involved in winning a race to a certain extent. A lot can happen, but in qualifying, most people put in a good showing, and if you can qualify on pole, then that feels immensely satisfying. Really liked that. More still to do, but keep them coming, guys, and I'll try and get one out every day. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.